It's been so long, I feel like John Jones wiped my mind because I was trying to get into Supergirl Season 4, Episode 10, and finally we did as we watched the AfterBuzz After Show right here. Look in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's Supergirl After Show. We're back.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Let it begin. This is...
to lift you up.
I felt this song tonight.
This is Churches
With a V.
with a V.
That's what makes them special, right? They brought it back. They added this, of course, at the end where we're finding that very sentimental scene. But it didn't start out so sentimental. As we sit here, I do have some sentimental feelings for being apart from you guys for so long. But I'm glad that we're back, and I'm glad that you're all back too. We are talking Supergirl Season 4, Episode 10, Suspicious Minds. And if you know why, you know why. We're going to get into a lot of topics today as we get into Supergirl and the DEO, and by the DEO I mean Hayley, Alex
all
and the
the
DEO, and by the DEO I mean Hayley, Morai and the U.S. government. We learned what the Morai are. John Jones and Mind Wipes, Lena and James. We have some Brainy and Nia Nal action, a special segment where we discuss what scene we like. And represents us, news and gossip, and of course predictions culminating into our thoughts into next week. Let's discuss some Supergirl, and I can't forget to start it off not only with your overall thoughts, but the tidbit about Red Daughter. That's how we started.
Oh, personally, I kind of feel like Nia Nal on her semi-stood-up date. I was like, wait, I thought this was going to happen, but now we're going to deal with this?
Exactly.
I mean, okay.
That's funny.
That's cool.
Red Daughter,
Red Daughter,
and your overall
we
thoughts.
Well, Red Daughter, we keep on getting teased about Red Daughter. I'm anxious to see what's going to happen with her, quite honestly. Overall thoughts, great episode. Welcome back, Supergirl. A little sad at the end there. A little sad.
Yeah, Downer, right?
Downer.
Debbie Downer at the
Yeah.
end.
Yeah.
But strong. But strong.
Yet
Heather?
vulnerable, just like Alex.
Just
no matter
like
what.
Alex, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, this has been the ultimate relationship throughout the entire season. So it is going to be sad to see it wiped. And I thought I didn't know. I was so in tune to the episode, I didn't know it was over right then either. I thought we were going to get some aftermath.
Seemed there was a lot of relationship stuff going on in this episode today, because we had Lena and James, we had Brainy and Nia, we had this sister relationship thing going on.
Alex and Kara, we're going to get into
Kara,
a lot of that. You know, I almost felt mind wiped because I forgot to introduce ourselves, assuming that everyone knows who we are. But I am your host. My name is Tehran, and to the left of me, I have some Heather.
Hey guys, Heather Wake here.
And of course, my main man, the voice himself, Jorge, is in the building.
Hola, ¿qué pasa?
That's we're trying to stay away from stereotypes here, Jorge. And overall thoughts, I felt like this episode was overall a very good, fun episode to get us right back into the swing of things. I do keep, and the reason why Red Daughter didn't get her own segment is because she doesn't deserve one. We keep getting teased. It's just the tip with Red Daughter. When are we going to get some Red Daughter action? What's going on with this? We're getting a lot of and it's always for less than 10 seconds.
Yeah, and
less
always
than 20 seconds.
at the very beginning or the very end.
Something very good. And it sounds, and like you said, Heather, I thought this was a setup. Uh-oh, here we are.
Yeah.
And then we forget about her. Can she be controlled? I don't know.
We don't know.
What do we even need to control her for? I think that the Supergirl writers are out of control with Red Daughter, and we better get a very good payoff for all that we learned. But what we did learn about a lot was this Supergirl and DEO Hayley situation that's coming to play, right?
Yes.
So in the midst of this conspiracy that's being covered up, we see that Colonel Hayley has been a force to be reckoned with all the time, but she's the one who wants to hand out a lot of reckonings. How did you feel about the Colonel Hayley Supergirl versus Supergirl? Let's find out who her identity is. We have to bring her down. We have to blackmail her. We have to be in control. Hayley.
Well, it's always good to have more reasons to hate Hayley. So this was good justification.
I think Alex is on the money, and that's why Alex is the moral center of the DEO. Hayley does not seem to have any moral qualms. She's using an alien creature in order to get the truth. She's interrogating her own agents to find out who Supergirl is in order to blackmail her to get her under her thumb.
Well, Hayley comes from the DEO generation of what is the name of the identity that John Jones took originally? The original hunter? Was it
Henshaw.
That's
Henshaw.
it. Yeah, Henshaw.
We had to play charades with you for a
I
second.
know.
Okay.
And it looked like this.
Henshaw.
Yeah, I mean, I think she kind of comes from that.
That school of thought.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
training where it's like the ends justify the
Exactly.
means, and by any means necessary, and brute force
and
beats
aliens as
good force.
less than humans.
And aliens are the bad guys. We're the good guys. Do you feel that Hayley actually believes that aliens are the bad guys, and we're the good guys?
I believe she justifies serving the country.
Well, is she just under
Yeah.
the guise of I'm following orders?
Exactly.
Is she following orders, or is she just following her own agenda?
Well, that's the thing, because we've seen a softer, better side of Hayley every now and then. Right when we're about to hate her fully, she does something that makes us like her, except in this episode where she had very few redeeming qualities. Even for the second that I thought something was going to happen when Supergirl saves her life during the Morai attack, we see she goes and reverts right back to Hayley the Conqueror instead of...
She turned on her on a dime. There was a smile on her face for a moment there of, oh, you saved me, thank you. By the way, I know your identity. You're working for me now, and you have no say in it, or your friends, your family, everybody's in danger. I will expose you. That's immoral.
It lets you know that the Morai really had a real reason to kill her.
Exactly.
They were most afraid of her. With Supergirl and Hayley, it's been blossoming, this dislike, distrust. Hayley is not the DEO we have come to love. We've come as an audience to trust and love the DEO, and now I don't trust them anymore.
No. And Hayley's got a history of this as well. I mean, she talked about the way that she trained the Morai.
She did.
Where using trauma as a method of control and obedience.
Well, that's what makes me think that no, she does not see it as just following orders.
That's the concept, right? We have to be aware of who Hayley really is. Hayley's not just... It takes a lot to become a colonel, first of all. But Hayley's not a colonel in the sense of the bravery and the courage. This is a black ops, special trained colonel. This is...
Getting the job done.
Exactly. She's gone through the other route where she does feel justified in all her actions. She feels justified in blackmailing Supergirl. She interrogates her agents. An immoral act, Jorge. Can you expound on that?
Yeah, well, going back to the whole thing with the Morai, they found the Morai as children, and she had no qualms with taking these Morai alien children and training them to be assassins for the government.
Oh yeah, well
she had
definitely
no
we're going to
problem
get
with
into
at
that.
all.
We're getting into that for sure. But I want to know how you felt about the way Hayley was just openly interrogating her agents, and even getting one to tell her. Agent Reef, we decided her name was based on. She's not listed in IMDb as she's just listed as.
But Hayley called her Reef during the episode.
So
She should call her agent.
she was like, she spilled the beans. She told them because for some reason a room full of people knew who Supergirl was. We walked in and it's like we're gonna get together all the agents that know who Supergirl is. I'm thinking it's gonna be 3-4 people. It was like 6 people and
They
a
were
goat.
loose-lipped over this.
Yeah, we were like, hey, guess what? Where are you going? Supergirl's house. I mean, Kara Danvers. My bad. Oh, geez. Supergirl is Kara Danvers? Yes.
Yeah, so you're telling me that in 4 seasons, not one of those agents went home for Christmas and was like, hey, by the way...
Yeah. How was work?
Well, I know who Supergirl is.
Exactly. I mean, that's something, a secret told to someone else is not a secret well kept, right? Just a secret told to 2. So let alone 6 or the room full of 7 people.
Barely a secret anymore.
Exactly. Yeah. Alex, Brainy, and then 5 randoms. Where they were, and they weren't even agents we'd seen before.
No.
The agents who actually only 2 had speaking roles. The other 3 were clearly extras.
Yeah.
You know, there was the
Picked a
It was a
PA.
very diverse-looking group, though.
They were a very diverse-looking group. It was a very diverse-looking group. Mehdi Darvish was one of the extras in the background. I looked it up because, it's like that guy looks Persian. But the whole look of Hayley interrogating them was something that sat very poorly with me. Her means, because interrogation in the way Hayley does it is coercive, it's manipulative, it's dangerous. It's even it's a form of mental torture.
Well, yeah, Brainy even talked about the way that he was once interrogated by some 10-eyed alien, and that he could take lessons from Hayley.
Yeah,
Yes.
and Hayley would give him a run for his money. Yeah.
I'm just surprised that Hayley is being made to be the big bad villain for this. I thought she was going to serve a different purpose. I didn't. And this, in this episode, she clearly is being pushed in that direction.
I mean, Hayley is definitely coming off as the villain. She's coming off as an enforcer. But here's the thing. Hayley's not at the top of the food chain. She's getting orders. We're not liking the president anymore. Even in the recap, because the recap, usually I just skip over the recap. The recap for this episode was so necessary because I feel like it's been such a huge gap between the last episode, Elseworlds, and this one. And especially because now Elseworld was a part of that whole crossover thing. So that didn't really count, right? So the episode before this and the episode now seem so far apart.
Oh, yeah.
So the president's coming off as one of the worst people. Now Hayley's coming off as his henchman, his goon. And we see she has a history of being a goon.
Well, the president only cares about one thing: getting votes and maintaining retaining his power. So of course he's going to have.
We're still talking about the show, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because Supergirl also crosses over into social commentary. Now, we here at AfterBuzz, we don't coerce people ever.
Oh,
That's
no.
the best part about AfterBuzz. We love each and every one of you for being here. Jorge,
Oh, hey, yeah, I got a little something to read for you guys here.
cue that's beautiful
I can get
Supergirl.
my- Hey, guys. Before we move on to our next topic, we just wanted to say thank you for making us the ESPN of TV talk. For us to continue to grow, we could use your help. If you're on YouTube right now, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. And if you're on iTunes, please give us a 5-star rating. But no matter where you are, leave us a comment so you can get involved in the conversation. Being a part of AfterBuzz TV has meant so much to all of us, and we truly appreciate your supporting us in doing what we love. Don't forget to tell your friends and keep enjoying our shows. Stay super, everyone.
It makes me want to share and subscribe. That voice, though.
Most
that
epic.
voice. Such an epic solution to all your after show needs right here at AfterBuzz. Thank you so much. And we'd love to hear from you. We enjoy each and every one of you. So please feel free to comment in the comments below. You're as much a part of this panel as all of us. But you know who's not a part of the DEO anymore?
Who that?
Alex.
Oh, yeah. Alex?
Wait.
Oh, she knocked out Hayley, right? She was going to get court-martialed, right? Oh, that's right. They fixed that.
That part.
Yeah, because when that happened, that came out of nowhere. Like it was like,
That was a sweet right
Clock.
hook.
Yeah.
bet you didn't see that coming. I had to do it. I had to do it. We were like, oh man, Alex is in trouble. And then they fixed it. Let's talk a little about Alex and the DEO. And when I say Alex and the DEO, I also mean, of course, Alex and Hayley. They are butting heads all the way. And Alex is becoming disillusioned with the DEO. She's like, I can't work with her anymore. I can't work here anymore. She truly felt that. But then at the end, there was that reconciliation where she's like, I have to be a part of the DEO. How did you feel about the clash between Alex and Hayley?
Oh, I think it's a really well-written conflict because Hayley is so immoral, and Alex was about to, I was about to have a breakdown for a moment there.
Yes.
On that phone call with Kara. So I loved it. I thought it was delicious.
I mean, I'm still kind of wishing that she had left the DEO. I guess that's my main thing, but that might be into a different topic.
You feel like she should have left?
Well, I mean, she's wanting to leave, and then at the end, before the memory wipe, she suddenly has a change of heart between Kara. She says that you're right. I need to fight from the inside, but now she's not going to have the intel when she is working from the inside. So I felt like that would have been an interesting way to go for them. But maybe I'm just tired of the DEO like everyone else.
I'm kind of over the DEO. The DEO has fulfilled its purpose. I trust Supergirl way more than the DEO, and
Yeah.
Supergirl is just an entity. it shouldn't feel that way, right? It should be a situation where people shouldn't be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of their people. In this case, aliens. Aliens shouldn't be afraid of their government. Government should be afraid of the aliens, which they are, but a little too much,
talking
right?
about the show
a little
again,
too
right?
much, yes. So when we have this clash between Alex and Hayley, you're looking at two people that have run this organization, and one built it up, and the other is running it to the ground. And I still think the agents, they are taking orders when it comes to Hayley, but they respect Alex.
Yeah.
They're truly listening to Alex and her suggestions, even if
Except for that part where it's don't say that Kara is Supergirl.
Well, Reeve tries.
Yeah.
Not everyone has the brainiac power to compartmentalize and put it on a timer.
But Reef was the first one to say that she was going to use her RTI training.
Yes, the
The one
resistance
that she
to
slept through,
interrogation.
apparently.
Yeah.
She, and that was, of course, the foreshadow to, that's the one that's going to give
Yeah.
it up. She's the
Dust
one.
protects
And she just
says
did,
too much, we think.
I'm sorry, Alex. And it was just her face.
She should have smacked her. She should have punched her in the face right there.
Well, that's the thing. Is are we so upset at the agents for following orders? I mean, I can understand why Alex is doing it. Alex isn't just protecting her country. She's protecting her sister. But the other agents are simply protecting a secret. And to be honest, that secret is something that does belong in the hands of the government. Now, we don't trust this particular form and foundation of the government. No. However, that is something where, for better or worse, Supergirl is a vigilante. Supergirl is not sanctioned. We did not vote on her. We did not choose her. She's not hired. She didn't go through a process. We don't really even know. And if she did turn, what would people do? I mean, this is the strongest alien in the world.
Until she meets Red Daughter.
That's the thing. But the concept is when Batman has these contingency plans, this is what he means. The government is no less. They want their
Well, the
control
government
and
has their
contingency
kryptonite,
plan.
don't they?
A lot of it has been destroyed. And yes, I'm sure they do have enough kryptonite, but clearly we've seen an abled Supergirl who isn't kryptonite resistant, but is smart enough to figure her way out of it, even if she breathes it in.
I've got someone on the chat. Derek Hogan has a prediction that Red Daughter will kill Colonel Hayley, but everyone will think Supergirl did it, and the season will end with Supergirl framed for murder and on the run.
Let's play that with predictions. We're going to definitely talk about that one. That's a very strong one. Alex also has a loyalty when it comes to the DEO. And you see that her agents come into the locker room, and they are conspiring to conspire. And Hayley walks in. How'd you feel when that scene happened?
Oh, I felt like I was back in high school smoking a cigarette in the boys' room, and the dean just walked in.
Who smokes cigarettes? It should have been a joint.
That was high school.
Heather?
I mean, well, and situationally, I felt like, well, I'm certainly glad she didn't come in any sooner. I sort of felt like it was convenient writing, though. But I guess it was overall building up the tension of whether or not Hayley was going to find out. I was still thrown off by having 7 people in the locker room.
No, all the people.
Like, were you on coffee
here's
break?
An interesting concept, right? Alex doesn't trust Hayley, but Hayley doesn't trust Alex either. And this is a reason why Alex, for better or for worse, again, is a soldier.
Insubordinate. Oh, but yeah.
Is a soldier. You are under a chain of command, and you are disobeying a direct command of authority.
What's interesting though is, did you notice that Hayley still looks out for Alex in the fight with the Morai? Alex was going to go in and investigate to see, and Hayley was like, no, and that's when she sent in Reef instead. What is that about?
She's always looking out for.
She might just see Reef as more expendable as well.
Well, it might be because she sees that Alex in the chain of command she's right under, which she was relieved from that command. Hayley took over it because of her, because at the end she was like, oh, I know you know. And then, of course, they fixed that again, which was a very convenient thing to have happened. And let's talk a little bit about that John Jones and the mind wipes. Because that just solved a lot of problems at the right time. It put it off for tomorrow, basically.
What a useful friend to have, that John
It was
Jones.
a very and it's something he kind of vowed not to do again, right? So then he breaks his own vow a little and goes in and fixes the problem by erasing the minds of Colonel Hayley from her knowledge of knowing that Kara and Supergirl are the same person, but then from all the agents, including Alex, that know of Supergirl's secret identity.
That's going to cause problems later.
Of course.
Oh, yeah. I love that John's like, no, I can't. Okay, just this once. And then these three. And also your sister. But then I'm done.
Well, exactly. But he made a very interesting implication. They wanted this because they consented.
Right.
They consented to protecting you. They wanted to. In the locker room scene that we just discussed, they had consented to, of course, protecting Kara. The mind wipe, it's very targeted, it's very specific. So on the agents, it seems to be just information. But with Alex, that seems to be a huge chunk of Alex's life.
That's
they
history.
bonded over
Yeah,
that.
that's going to be problematic.
That's history. They met as children. She knew it as a child that her sister was special.
That's a lot of memories to wipe out. That's season 1 through 4 plus years 11 through 32. I mean, that's
Which does
just a
go
lot.
to justify leaving that at the very end, because it's going to be a full episode, this whole mind wipe and all the aftermath of that.
Yeah, and we see that there's a Vertularian, which is the truth seeker that they bring in, the little octopusy thing. It comes in, and I guess you put your hand in there, and then it just sticks to it. And then
I'm not putting my hand in there. Are you putting your hand in there?
I'm personally no.
I thought you put it on your head like
It
a hat.
reminds me of the creature that wraps around Superman, and I think one
Starro.
and then it takes you into this fantasy world. So these creatures are just not fun for me. I'm not.
I'm putting my hand in there. It looks like a jellyfish, and I might get stung.
It's not something. I'm not. Oh yeah, okay, all right.
I didn't sign up for this.
Oh yeah, you ordered me to just. Oh okay.
Okay.
Like, you couldn't.
Two hands.
How is this legal?
Yeah, you couldn't order me to do that particular one. Like at that point, it's like, why don't you just shoot me up with heroin? Why don't you just get me addicted to heroin and I'll tell you everything? Like we're in the same means. How'd you guys feel about John Jones opening up his PI business?
Loved it.
Loved it.
It threw me back to the scene a few episodes ago where it like had him in the fedora, just looking super cool.
He's got the hat
I was like,
on.
oh, here it comes.
Here's the PI in him. Right?
Yeah.
The PI. And then, of course, Brainy goes in there and tries to hire him, leaving
I feel like he
racks
could be-
of money.
Yeah. Oh, where did Brainy get those racks of money? By the way,
And what does Brainy use his money for? He's getting paid from the DEO, right? Like, they're racking up.
wait, does he have a social security number?
Well, they were getting paid. There's currently a government shutdown, but
Oh, they
at
were
the
for
point, he has money. Yeah. So the whole John Jones being a private investigator, that's a business. That's almost. It feels like it's a spinoff.
I was just about to, yeah. It definitely gives more of a foundation to his character and adds to his whole point in the new Supergirl story.
Yeah.
I think it frees him up, and he can do a lot more good as a private investigator than he could ever do as the head of the DEO.
Certainly.
I feel like the cuffs are off now, right? The question is, though, is he still going for his nonviolent terms? I mean, after what he did with Manchester Black, and now mind wiping these guys, is he?
A lot of the things that he set up as foundation, he's been breaking himself. Now, I want to know from everyone in the chat and everyone at home, leave comments below. Did you think it was okay that John Jones used the mind wipe, even with consent, but specifically on Hayley? Let's talk about it all.
Yeah.
I want to hear your thoughts. So it's a yes or no, and then give us your reasons why, right? Let's jump into the Morai and the U.S. government.
Yes.
We see the Morai first as they attack Colonel McAllister's crew. And we're, of course, automatically blaming the Morai because of the vicious way they attacked and dragging McAllister off. And, of course, Supergirl sees a glimmer because of her X-ray vision. And then later it becomes the biggest conspiracy, the suspicious mind, when we realize that we don't have Colonel McAllister. We can't find a record of him. And of the ship. And the Navy SEAL that they brought in as a witness is gone. And all these things. But how do you feel about the Morai's introduction?
probably was the best day ever for the CGI team. They're like, invisible.
I
Day
can
is
do that.
done.
I think the Morai are actually a pretty cool. I'm sorry to see there were 3 of them total, right?
There were 3.
There were 3 total, and now there's 2 dead. I think they would make really interesting antagonists as the show goes further. You know, especially for Hayley.
Well, they're not bad people, right? The Morai aren't bad. It's we train them bad. It's kind of nature versus nurture. We always just assume bad people have made this decision, but here they were trained as kids to become assassins. And we, as Jorge, you pointed out, it's that whole trauma for control and obedience situation that Hayley put on them. And then they were trained from birth, basically, to be assassins and do dirty work for the U.S. government, and they're 100% tactical unit and
They're
assassin
trained
rate.
killers.
They are trained killers by us. So it's not like they're evil. We made them evil. So even as bad guys, you have a sympathy. I felt sympathy for them.
I have a sympathy for them in the sense that they were raised as children. They didn't have much of a choice, and the whole idea of trauma for control and obedience, it's horrible. It's horrible. It's like they had no choice, and then on top of it, the government turns on them and said because they're severing ties with all aliens, and that order came from the president to who is it, Colonel Alfonso Tan?
Yeah,
Tan, right? And then Tan sent the order to McAllister to have them neutralized. That's I feel a little.
We don't trust aliens anymore. Let's kill them. Yeah. Even though I understand why you chose them to be assassins, they have a natural cloaking ability that's better than anything we've got. Even though X-ray makes them glimmer, which is a thing, like that's not necessarily the best of all, right? Did you believe Hayley when she said she'd never even heard of McAllister or worked with him?
Oh no,
no,
definitely not.
No, I'm calling BS on that.
I believed her.
Really?
I thought she was a part of the original plan where it was with Tan, and then moved on. She went on to something even darker somewhere else, which I think is going to be a play because they kind of are alluding to a lot of her past.
Yeah, it makes me really interested in what some of her methods were. I mean, for it to be so heinous that Brainy mentioned the comment that we already talked about for one of the Moraes to kill itself rather than deal with her.
Itself.
I hope it alludes to her past in a flashback in another episode too.
Yeah. The Morae literally clawed himself in the chest and died rather than having to go back and deal with Hayley. That's how abusive she was. This is more than Stockholm syndrome. This is truly a manipulative like a form of coercion. This is Guantanamo times 20.
Right. It is, what did they call it? It's torture.
It is torture. It's a form of torture, in whatever case. Also one that a lot of our immigrant parents used on us, to be very honest. I feel like that whole trauma for control and obedience, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, Persian dad, black mom, trust me, I know all about that.
No kidding.
That's the thing. That's so fun. With the Morai, we also see them attack the DEO directly. 2 of them, the 2 that are left, go in and attack the DEO. That attack was something that was a little preordained. The DEO was prepared for it. Brainy, of course, comes up with a brilliant idea to shoot them with paintball gun with phosphorus paint to make them illuminate and glow so they can't just easily get it off them.
That's why they call him Brainy.
They call him Brainy. Yes.
Sometimes
of course,
he shows up.
It's
yeah.
brilliant, of course. Of course, it's brilliant. I felt like that attack, the Morai, who are trained assassins, I felt like they could have done better. Now, they did pretty well.
For 100% accuracy,
I feel like they could have done better. This 100% accuracy, they have missed 2 times. They're just missing.
Well, it's kind of hard to get past the spray of bullets, of actual bullets, because that was the other thing.
They lost
I mean,
one
they
of
get
their
No
teammates.
stun guns.
They get tan, but they weren't successful. Like, if they're always going to die when they get someone, I just feel like that's not great. And there is a spray of bullets, right? Because Hayley gives the order, usually we don't shoot to kill. Hayley's like, no, we shoot to kill.
Spoken like a true colonel,
Yeah.
But
like a
here's my
mercenary.
here's my contradiction. When it comes to John Jones and his mind wipe, everyone's okay with it because the ends justify the means when it comes to John Jones, and because we feel like it's on the side of good. Hayley is being ordered by the U.S. government, the government that we've all, for the most part, placed our faith into, and she's making decisions that, you know, the ends justify the means.
But
What's
was
the
she-
True,
difference?
nobody ever sees themselves as the villain.
But was she making that choice based off of what was ordered, or did she make that choice on trying to save her own bacon?
Wasn't the Morai ordered to be killed by the U.S. government?
Yeah, but she didn't know that. That was General Tan that said that to McAllister. She didn't necessarily.
You don't know that she knew that. When it comes to top secret, clearly Hayley is in the in. So if this was a conversation with the president, let's say the president ordered them to be dead. Now, does that change your mind? Interesting. These conundrums.
Interesting.
That's why I'm talking about these things. That's why we have this after show. We get into the relationship aspect. Let's talk a little bit about Lena and James.
Lena and James, the return.
Reunited and it feels so good.
Does it though? Does it feel so good?
Feels better than it could.
And walked in, Lena goes in, and of course Lena comes to James, and they kind of make up, and then we see them make up, and James actually apologized, which was very big of James, being in a situation, and by big I mean it took him a long time to realize, like a guy, like it took him basically being kidnapped and almost blowing up a monument to realize, oh wow, Lena might have had, oh, I understand where she's coming from. That's what it takes for a guy to be a bigger person, right? So here we are in the situation with Lena and James together. First of all, do we even like Lena and James together?
I think.
Wow.
They're all right. They don't bother me. I was like, I don't care.
I was way more excited about the James Kara thing than I am about the Lena James thing.
That fills it up real fast, though, didn't it?
Yeah, they took that off the table.
Yeah, they're like, oh,
very
Lena's
quick.
going to be on the show, so bye.
Bye. So I don't know how I feel about Lena and James being a team, especially with this new adage where
I think they're really only united to have this conflict about the Arenal, and all the stuff she's doing.
and it's gonna come out. But you know what? And James was really quick to be like, I'll back it. Do you think James is doing it for selfish reasons? Like he wants to kind of be a superhero, which is his secret
I was thinking that
ambition.
too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think just like when Reef was like, oh, I've had all this RTI training, so we know she's going to be the one to fold. It's the same sort of foreshadowing that we have with James. Oh, I support it, which means, oh, I'm going to have a...
Until it's time. But that
Yeah.
doesn't stop him from taking it to stop her from using it on other people. See, that's one of those things where it's subconsciously, you just wanted it for yourself. If that comes to play, I'm going to still be
Was
like James.
was that the thought he was having when they were laying in bed, you think? When she was passed out and he was just like, I'm going to get myself some superpowers.
I don't know, James Cosby. I don't know the way we started discussing that. I'm just hoping that wasn't the situation, right? I think it's something a little more subtle and a little more subconscious in his, in my opinion, in his thoughts. Heather, what do you feel?
No, I mean, I guess I could see him trying to take it, but as of right now, I think he's thinking that he's going to support her, and then they're going to butt heads.
See, and we did get a lot of foreshadowing in this episode. Even when it came to finding out Kara's secret identity, we heard, why do people cover things up? They should just know we're going to figure it out, right? Yeah. So, here we go. Then we, of course, later, we're going to stand by, we're going to do whatever we can, and then you're the one to tell, and now I've got your back, and let's see how long that back goes, right? Lena and James as a force to be reckoned with. This is going to play out. Let's talk a little bit about Brainy and Nia Nal. Okay. I thought it was a date.
I did too.
It was a date.
That was a
Brainy.
date, Brainy, you dork.
And then Brainy
Gosh,
took
men.
the easy way out, I feel like. I feel like he was like, oh, this is a date? I didn't know it was a date. Oh, I never thought someone as beautiful as you would ever even look at me.
Here, let me hand you this binder with a bunch of drawings that I made of you in a costume.
But I don't like you.
I don't like you
I
at
don't
all.
have feelings for you. Unless
Nerdy
you
guys everywhere are like, I feel represented finally.
That's real because like I don't like you unless you like me and then I like you. But if you
Yeah,
don't,
but so-
You don't like
we're
me?
just friends.
Then here's this binder. Never mind.
And Nia was a little disappointed.
Yeah.
You saw
I
she
do
got
love
dressed
that line.
up.
She's like, I'm not even sure if I am interested in you.
Well, that's the point of a lot
Yeah.
of dates, right? The whole concept of the date, it's an interview. Let me see if I even can have you intern for this job, right?
I just hope he didn't have her foot the bill. He's like, oh,
It
I
did look
gotta
like he
go.
got up and left. He has all this money, and then the one time he should have paid, just dipped
Yeah.
out. Like, hey,
Peace.
oh, did you get the lobster? I've heard it's great. Leave. With Nia Nal and unlike Lena and James, where we're about, I'm a little more excited about Brainy
For
and
sure.
Nia, personally.
Yeah, I think the Brainy Nia. I find it to be entertaining and adorable.
Yeah,
Quite honest.
endearing. Yeah.
It is very endearing. I feel it's fun. I feel like the two play very well together. The awkwardness that they both exhume. Nia is an alien from Naltar. Brainy is a 12th level intellect. She
What could
sees
go
the
wrong?
future. I'm just saying.
They should have their own sitcom.
I'm all about this. I'm all about them making it and happen. That's beautiful, you know?
Love those crazy kids.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful situation. I really like how they play that. What else I like about what they play is let's do a quick game for our special segment. Everyone at home, I want you to play along, where you take a scene from the show and relate it to you. If something you find relatable or something that basically represents you. Jorge?
Oh, I think the phone call of making the date, Brainy calling her, do you like food? That just, I just had many flashbacks of being a geeky high school kid. So, yeah.
Heather?
Pretending to be fatigued during grueling exercise, even though I'm not phased at all.
Yeah, that spin cycle, that was,
Yeah.
Kara's like, ooh, ooh, tired.
Feel the
Oh
burn.
my God, and then breaks the knob because it's already at the highest level. Like, woo.
Didn't even break a
tired.
sweat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go with Alex punching Haley out.
Oh,
Like
that's good.
Alex punching Haley is you know what?
You punched out a boss
I'm
once?
over it. I've never actually had like a job, but that's probably why, right? Do you see what I'm saying?
I
Like
hear you.
I've always been this against authority thing, so I can understand the want and need to just be like, you know what? Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
And really,
Tired of this.
She held it in for a very long time.
She held it in. She kept it down and held it in. Let's get into some news and gossip. You two have been investigating and found some great things out.
Got some stuff. All right, so the first thing that I want to talk about is Nia Nal, Dreamer. This is sourced from Den of Geek. On the January 27th episode of Supergirl, Blood Memory, we will get our first glimpse of Nicole Maines in the Dreamer suit. We're getting our first glimpse right now. There's a photograph of her up there. Blood Memory sees Nia and Kara traveling to Nia's hometown to visit her family during the town's annual Harvest Festival. All right, so we got that on the 27th. Here's another one sourced by EW concerning Lex Luthor. They did on EW.com. They did a great interview with the producers of the show, Rovner and Queller. And on the question of what can we expect from Supergirl's take on the iconic Lex Luthor played by John Cryer, Queller says the character is not that dissimilar to what we've seen in canon. Thank God.
That's real.
I mean, that's big. That's real. What we've seen in canon. He just has a sparkle in his eye and is smarter than everybody in the room and 12 steps ahead of everyone and just a large, delicious villain. There's a lot in that interview. They also
I see the sparkle in his eye right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can't wait to see Ducky play like that. And we all just say pretty in pink.
Oh man.
And I hope they give a nod to that, by the way, somehow.
Somehow
Somehow
yes.
they will. Somehow they will. And then the next little piece, it also part of that same interview from EW.com. They ask about the return of Jeremy Jordan. Win.
Wynn's back?
Win is
Well,
win.
I've
Zach.
got some sad news for Zach, who's not here today. Rovner says we love Jeremy Jordan. We love Win. It looks like, in terms of our storytelling, something we'd like to do at the beginning of next season as opposed to this season. We have a lot of stories that coincided with his availability at the end of the play. We don't want to short shift Jeremy or the character, so we think it's something that's better served in season 5.
Wow.
Poor Zach.
If Wynn comes back, does Brainy go? Because I hope not. I like Brainy over Wynn, personally.
So do I. I'm Team Brainy.
I'm Team Brainy.
And I hope Zach's grown. I hope it's grown on Zach, too.
Yeah.
Zach, we miss you, but you're the Wynn of the situation. If we had a Brainy come in,
You'd be real
when your
close.
friend comes in, what's your friend's name?
John.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there we go.
There's our Brainy.
So, thank you so much for the news and gossip. Let's get right into predictions. We're coming up to one of those parts where
your AfterBuzz TV.
anything can happen. Anything can happen going out. Jorge, predictions.
So much. Well, first of all, I just know that this whole mind wipe on Alex is going to cause havoc.
Of course, I mean, it seemed like it.
Yeah, because you're not just wiping out the. It's not like the other agents where you could just say, okay, you don't know that Kara Danvers is Supergirl. We're talking about her sister. Who she grew up with, who she seen fly as a child.
She snuck out with.
She snuck out with her
Exactly.
powers. So that's going to cause a huge problem. And then I'm just really excited to see what happens with Fred daughter. I'm thinking there's going to be a big superhero battle. I want to. Is she a clone? Is she her twin sister? What the hell is she?
I maybe not resolved in this episode, but I think the memory loss will overall be temporary. I think eventually, somehow, Alex will recover the memories somehow, some way. And I think I agree that the Red Daughter aspect, somehow Supergirl is going to get framed for something, whether it's killing Hayley or some sort of heinous act done. I think Supergirl is going to get framed for it.
Very interesting. I predict we're never going to see Red Daughter. She's going to be teased throughout for the rest of our lives. It's going to be a
logical.
Red Daughter that comes through. But I do think Brainy and Nia are going to make it. Lena and James might not. I think that John Jones's spinoff is going to come out more than we realize, even if it's not this year, but next season. And some of the cases are going to clearly overlap and coincide. I think that Alex is going to go crazy, as we saw in those previews, and that Supergirl is going to be the one that thwarts the DEO and Hayley, and Hayley's going to pay. I don't know if Hayley makes it through the season, but she does say something very interesting. This is reality. Sometimes reality is messy and uncomfortable. So that's how I feel about this after show. Thank you so much for being a part of it. Jorge, Heather. Jorge, where can people find you if you want to be found?
I'd like to be found, sure. Why don't you guys look me up on all of my social media at the El Jorge. That's TheelJorge on all of my social media.
Hey guys, on Instagram you can find me at heather.wake. On Twitter you can find me at heather_wake.
And I have been your host, Tehran. You can find me at I Am Tehran all across the board. That's Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Till next week.
Stay whelmed.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.